Hi everyone, today we'll uncover a bizarre murder mystery. The killer leaves traces no matter which way they go. Most importantly, Hastings found a note. It had just one word on it, sorry. All the signs pointed to one simple conclusion: Jerris decided to gracefully exit due to guilt. But this reasoning seemed a bit off to Poirot's sharp eyes. First off, the motive for Jerris' suicide was quite the enigma. You see, the rich guy called Poirot to investigate the secret affair between an architect and a socialite. He was super concerned about ensuring his fortune went to his heirs, so why leave a quick story and bow out? This doesn't add up with his domineering personality. Plus, Poirot noticed Jerris was holding the gun with his left hand. At the auction, he distinctly remembered the wealthy guy waving his paddle with the right hand signing and all. Quite bizarre. A righty suddenly going left at the last moment. And Poirot still can't wrap his head around the bullet that drilled Jerris' head. It's vanished. There wasn't a shell in sight, and the gun was perfectly fine. It's like the bullet vanished into thin air. To uncover the truth, the team split up. Gap went looking for Jerris' wife to dig into that mysterious prophecy about you and I. Under the serious questioning of the sheriff, Vance acted all cryptic, claiming it was all revealed to him by Sapphira. This answer left the sheriff, trained in the strict Scottish way, completely flabbergasted. Did he actually find the real suspect? He rushed to ask Poirot and Christine where this Sapphira was. But when he learned this suspect had been dead for over 3,000 years, he felt quite embarrassed. In his mind, Jerris' death was clearly a suicide, not worth wasting police resources on such a ridiculous farce. Luckily, Poirot grabbed Gap just in time. He had an important discovery. Turns out while Poirot was asking around, he happened to spot his nephew drinking with his gal Susan. Susan had told Poirot she'd never let Jerris ruin her life, and now Jerris' birthday hadn't even cooled, and this couple was popping champagne. Their actions raised eyebrows, but the nephew excitedly exclaimed, "Even if I were a ghost, I wouldn't do that." Thus, the champagne definitely wasn't opened by them. Poirot did a thorough check and found it to be true. They both claimed that they were secretly playing music in the room until hearing the gunshot. Although Poirot was still skeptical about their explanations, he had no solid proof to refute, so he and Hastings went back to the study to check the surroundings. They found the doorknob was loose and noticed fresh footprints on the floor. At that moment, Poirot's mind began piecing together a completely new structure. Perhaps after offing Jerris, the killer cleverly used the loose window latch to create a perfect suicide scene with just one shove. But the detail suddenly grabbing Poirot's attention was when everyone rushed towards the hole upon hearing the shot. He noticed that the socialite Ruth had fresh mud all over her shoes. Could it be that the seemingly innocent socialite is the real culprit lurking in the shadows? The plot thickens. What motive could Ruth have for wanting to kill her adoptive father? To uncover the murderer, Poirot started to simulate the suspect's movements bright and early the next day. Just then, Ruth came knocking on his door, and Poirot was seriously taken aback. This seemingly delicate socialite came straight to the point about why she was involving Poirot. When she learned he was investigating the architectural affairs, she pulled out a thick envelope from her bag and firmly declared that was the fee for the request. "Since my adoptive father is dead, the investigation is done, right?" she said. However, Poirot thought otherwise. For Poirot, the end was not in his dictionary. A murder happening right under his nose was not going to end without a fight. He began probing into Ruth and Jerris' relationship. To his surprise, it turned out that Jerris was not her adoptive father but her blood uncle. Subtitles: Ruth is Jervis' brother's legitimate daughter. Her father died in war, her mother unable to raise her. At that time, Jerris and his wife had no children, so they adopted this poor kid. As for the mudstains Poirot noticed that night, Ruth gave a seemingly valid explanation. She claimed she was in the garden picking flowers around 6 and only discovered the murder at 8. However, to Poirot's surprise, Jerris' assistant could vouch for her. After hearing this, Poirot nodded thoughtfully. Clearly, even if Ruth didn't mention it, she intended to meet this mysterious woman. After all, Poirot was eager to learn what evidence his assistant found at the crime scene. Was it that bullet that mysteriously vanished after killing Jerris? But when she flipped over her palm, what appeared on the scene was just an ordinary metal button. The assistant explained it was dropped by Jerris. She just wanted to wrap it up to return to him. She confirmed Ruth's earlier statement about seeing her coming in from the garden around 8. As the investigation progressed, everyone had an alibi. But in Poirot's eyes, it was clear they were all hiding something. At this point, Gap called the assistant to his office, confirming Poirot's reasoning. Jerry's death wasn't just suicide. He took out Jerry's will from the drawer, showing wife and Ruth's split assets. Nephew only gets at worth 1,000. But even more shocking, the police discovered the latest draft of Jerry's will during the search. According to this new will, if Ruth didn't marry the intended architect, all the inheritance would go to his wife. But this will has not been signed yet, thus making it clearly invalid. This was likely the true motive behind Jerris' murder. When Gap asked Poirot about his initial purpose, it seemed Poirot found the breakthrough to the case. Don't forget to subscribe and join us in solving more mysteries.